So I was like, Mom, I'm going out. And she was like, where are you going at 8 a.m.? I was like, I'm going to meet some boy and his dog in the woods. And it went well. So that's good. Like I didn't die or anything. But I was like, what am I doing? Like,
he wasn't a serial killer or anything.
I asked him before I showed up. I was like, you're not going to kill me, are you?
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 38 of the On the Run podcast. We are back from our holiday break. This weather is spring-like weather lately, and we are recording virtual.
So good.
Erika, what's up?
I am happy that it is not cold right now. 61 degrees today at the end of December. So good. So good.
You went running, too.
Yeah, I did. Of course I did. What else was I going to do? I had the day off. Today is Friday.
Mm-hmm.
We don't usually record on Fridays.
Yeah, we're recording a little early today. This episode won't come out till Tuesday, but it is Friday. We got New Year's Eve tomorrow. Adeline is in a big show. She will be dancing with recycled percussion tomorrow night.
How cool is that?
That is really cool.
Did I ever tell you the fun story about recycled percussion?
No.
I remember seeing them for the first time when I was in the 6th grade because they are from
Goffstown,
my
New
school
Hampshire.
District.
Yes.
Yup.
We were watching them on
Claim to
YouTube
fame.
the other day, and we were like, oh, I wonder how they got big and where they started. 1994 in Goffstown, New Hampshire, but they got big in like 2009 when they're on America's Got Talent.
Yup.
And then they had
I was like, hey, I know them. Well, I know of them.
But then they had like a
So
10-year
cool.
stretch of a show in Las Vegas. So
How cool is that?
yeah, she gets to
Small town, Goffstown, New Hampshire.
right.
What?
It's super cool. Yeah, hey, it's a famous town. It's got Erika Hamill, Steve Spain, the recycled percussion, and the Goffstown Gallop.
There we go.
Big
What else do
deals
you need,
happening in
Goffstown?
Goffstown, New Hampshire. So, hey, how was your Christmas?
I had a great Christmas. It was full of family and food, and we didn't go big on presents this year because Brandon and I just got ourselves a new bed, and that was mucho dinero. So we did like little presents, and honestly, it made everything less stressful, and I had a wonderful Christmas because of that. How about you?
It was fine. It was we stayed home. Everyone came to the house, so we cleaned up. I feel like we cleaned up the house 5 times. The boys woke up 3 times throughout the day, like a nap here, a nap there, and every time they woke up, they opened more presents, and it's like at one point they're going to think this is just the norm. Wake up and open presents.
Oh, no.
Yeah. No.
Right.
Christmas was good, but I know it's a podcast, but look at my wrist here.
Is that a new watch?
That's a new watch. I got very lucky on Christmas, and a few people pitched in, and they put in some money.
Is that the same watch you had?
Well, actually, so it is the same brand, but it's the bigger one, size-wise.
No way.
Yeah. So to be completely honest, before I lost my watch on the in the rental car, I'm looking at it on the airplane, and I'm just thinking to myself, this is great. I'm going to love it. It's a little petite. It was a little small. It was like the size of an Apple Watch, I thought. And I'm like, I'm used to my big watch.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'll get used to it. And then we won't call it when the opportunity happened, because I wouldn't want to call that an opportunity. But when I lost the watch within 12 hours, and when I knew I had the opportunity to get another one, I knew I wanted to get a little bigger. So this is called I think it's called the Barrow. So it's the Sunto Peak 9, but it's the Barrow because the Barrow is the bigger, more rugged looking watch. But I really like the color of the wristband. I'm adding some color to my life.
Oh, yeah, that is bright.
Yep.
That's the color of the shirt I wore today on my run.
Yeah, it's the color of a
Neon
couple
yellow.
of mine too. Wait, was yours the Signet Elliott 5K?
No, I wore so I overdressed. I wore just a long sleeve her Tribe Athletic hoodie, and I was sweating, but I did not wear a tank top underneath, and I'm not about to go running around in a sports bra. So I was way overdressed today. And that's saying something for December.
Well, I went skiing today, and it was like spring-like skiing out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a little
Isn't it
bit like,
gorgeous?
this is great, but we need to be cold because we need more snow for more skiing. So like, I like spring skiing in the spring, but I need it to be cold. And I need it to snow more. Okay. The snow went away. We got all that
Right.
rain and now snow is gone. So it will come. It
Sorry,
will
dude.
come.
I don't want any more snow.
I'm
You
sorry
can
to
keep
tell
it at
everyone
the ski
this, but it's going to get really cold here soon again after this like next heat wave we got on right now. So,
Oh, I'm sure it will, but the longer it stays away, the happier Erika will be.
well, let's talk about one thing. We got a lot of new and exciting things happening for the year 2023, and we'll get into that after interview. But for all you who are listening right now, you already heard our first big change.
Oh, do you guys like it? I am obsessed. That new intro music is Chef's Kiss.
It is so Casey Neistat feeling for me. When I used to watch Casey's vlogs all the time,
Yeah.
and this music would be in the background, I'm like, this is it. So we had our song for the last year. Thank you to Katie. Katie found the song when she started producing the first few episodes of the podcast, but I felt like we're growing and our intro song has to grow with us.
I agree.
And I'm like, it's time for a new one.
I mean, Katie, you did fantastic. That intro song carried us through the first year, and we loved it. But yeah, I mean, I am digging this new one. It is a vibe.
I love it. So I went in and I listened to a ton of royalty-free music, and I'm like, this is the one. And go figure, you know, all the music would have a real name to it. They would name it something, and it would be by like a guy named Alex or a girl named Erika. This one was by a group called Music Unlimited, so don't really have a personal connection to thank to anybody.
Uh-huh.
And the song is called The Podcast Intro. But
I mean, how it doesn't get more perfect than that. Love it.
so we got a lot more new and exciting things to coming that we will talk about after the interview portion of this podcast. But we should jump right into the interview. You got a girl you met this past year, Amanda, to jump on the pod with us.
Oh, I was so excited we finally got to talk to her. I've been following her for a long time through our She Runs This Town group, and she's just a superstar. She's running everything. She's winning awards. She's just super fun. She's drinking beers and eating pizza, and she's a girl after my own heart. So I was so happy that she wanted to come on and talk to us.
And we scheduled this, I wouldn't say we scheduled it a while ago, but when we first talked to her about it, she's like, well, yeah, I'll come on, but I'm moving. And she wanted to move first. And she wasn't like just moving down the street or like moving in with a boyfriend or anything. She went like halfway around the
This
world.
is big time. Yeah, big time.
This interview really tested our internet, or I would say your internet bandwidth.
Did it do okay? I hope it did.
It did good. It did good. I was a little worried though when we were first talking to her. So yeah, it really tested our bandwidth. You know, New Hampshire, Hawaii. She just moved out there, you know, paradise, you know, just another day in paradise. So I loved it. I had no clue where I was getting into. It was kind of like the Neil one. When you found Neil, I really had no clue. And Neil turned into being our greatest episode of the year. This one was an amazing interview to start the year.
I am so excited. You guys are going to love her. So without further ado, let's talk to Amanda.
Our next guest on the runs is a New England born and bred, but just moved west to the sandy beaches and warm temperatures of Hawaii. She has run in over 50 endurance races, including 5 straight Boston marathons, and she is eyeing the 2024 Olympic trials. We're super excited to have her on and joining us, Amanda Beucler Rapos. Did I get that right? Welcome to the On the Runs podcast.
I think you're close.
Yes, you did. Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. This is a ton of fun. I'm really excited.
I'm very excited that we get to talk to you, Amanda, because I've been kind of, how do I say this not so creepily? I've been following you on Instagram and through the She Runs This Town group in New Hampshire, and you were just super impressive. So I'm very excited to get to talk to you about all of your impressive races and such.
And I think on a previous episode, one of our guests said, we need to talk to Amanda.
Yes.
Rachel runs for medals.
That's actually how...
Oh, yes.
That's how I
yes.
met you.
Yeah.
I was running, she dragged me out to that Hyannis half marathon early in 22 and it was freezing cold out. And she's like, oh, there's Amanda. And I was like, oh, okay. I think you had shorts on that day. And I was like, oh my God, how does she do that? It was freezing cold.
Wait, so you just met her back in April?
February. I think
February
it was,
this
yeah.
year? It's been less than a year. Okay. Cool. I thought you guys were old pals, old friends.
That was a cold one.
It was
That
a
was
cold
brutal.
one.
Ugh.
But if I remember it correctly, you did very well in that race as well. But we'll get into all that stuff.
Yeah, I think you've done well in a few. So currently you're in paradise.
Yes. Yeah. And I got here, my husband and I and our lovely husky moved here about 2 weeks ago. He's active duty Marine Corps and got orders to the island of Oahu. So we got here December 3rd. And then we move into our house on Friday. So we've been staying in a lovely bougie hotel room ever. So yeah, the dog has her own queen size bed. So she's, living the dream. But yeah, it's been quite the ordeal, moving 5,000 miles away from home, everything like that. I had never traveled further west than Chicago prior to coming out here. So I went all the way, go big or go home. So yeah, I'm very excited to have a new place to explore.
How's your husky doing with the warm weather? Like, what are we talking for heat over there? Like too warm, or is she doing okay?
She's fine so far. I mean, it gets up to like 80. It feels like, a New England July day, most of the days, which is fine for me. I try and time her walks a little bit better, but she loves laying in the sun anyway. She's more like a cat than a husky. She does absolutely nothing all day, sleeps in the sun. And, she's got a really dark coat and she's like, oh my God, this is great. I'm just going to absorb all the sunshine. And then she's, like boiling hot and she won't move. So
that's a life.
She'll
that is a life.
What was traveling out there like with a husky though? Like bringing the husky on an airplane, I'm guessing. If it were me, I would have drove to LA and then kayaked the rest of the way to Hawaii with the dog. I would have felt so like, what was that like? I've seen little dogs on airplanes, but a husky's not a little dog.
No, yeah, she's so Hawaii's very different. They have all these different regulations and requirements because they're a rabies-free state. So we had to get all these different shots and vaccines. Like we had to start doing this stuff in July.
Oh wow.
Find her a special flight that would, take a kennel of her size. And the whole COVID situation has made getting a flight difficult without, having them merged or changed. So that was extremely difficult, but yeah, we had to put her in, this giant kennel. And then she got checked in as baggage under the plane. So we went from Boston to San Diego with her under the plane. And then we had a 12-hour layover at San Diego airport and we slept on the floor in front of the check-in counters because we weren't checking out and trying to find a dog-friendly hotel. Like that was not happening. So slept on the airport floor and then put her on another plane from San Diego to Honolulu. So it was in total about 25 hours of travel. And she was actually amazing. Like, just hung out in the airport and, let people pet her, belly rubs, like all the free belly rubs in the world. She thought it was great. So
that's good.
whatever kept her happy.
That is a lot of travel.
What is your dog's name?
Mishka. Yeah, Mishka. She's my husband's dog. So he gave her a very, very unique husky name. And I was like, that's all you could come up with. But that's fine.
Awesome. Dogs are great. I'm a big dog guy. We just we've had dogs our whole life, and we just talked to another person who has dogs, and she runs with her dogs. So dogs are awesome. I'm so happy. I saw the picture. She's a beautiful girl. Absolutely beautiful husky.
You.
But let's get into you. You are a New England girl, right?
Yes. Born and raised in Medford, Mass. So yeah, 5 miles north of Boston.
Yeah, I keep seeing most of your runs from around here. You'd run over the bridges and by the Charles, and it's just so pretty. I don't get that around here, not so much at least.
So you grew up in Medford. What do you do for sports? Were you an athlete? Were you a runner the whole time? Were you a softball, baseball, hockey? What do you do growing up?
Yeah, so my mom tried to get me involved in group sports, and I have severe ADHD as well. So she was like, any, energy outlet would be great. We found out very quickly that things like contact sports like basketball were not for me. So she got me into softball, which was a team sport, but on my own. So I was, not attacking other children kind of thing because, I'd shove elbows in people's noses. So, that was a very short-lived activity, like not even the whole season, I don't think. So I did softball for a long time, all the way through high school, while doing the horse thing as well, because, another team sport being the horse, but on my own as an individual. So that was a good sport for me. And then I got into running actually at the tail end of college. So I had only started running like 6 or 7 years ago now. So not long at all. And now here I am.
And you've come a long way. Like I said, you have a very impressive resume of running.
I kind of figured this out today. Your Instagram handle is at that marathoning adventure. And my first thought was, oh, she likes to go to marathon events. But eventer really means something else.
Yeah. So eventing is like the triathlon of the horse world,
Oh, cool.
basically. So I got into horseback riding probably 20 years ago now, and started competing in the sport of eventing, which is, phase one is the fancy, prancy dance type stuff. So it's a lot of, precision, accuracy, obedience, but, that relationship between horse and rider. Then you go balls to the walls cross country, which is the main reason we all do this. And you gallop across the countryside, jumping solid obstacles, fallen trees, stone walls, water. And then phase three, after, to wrap it all up, is a very, technical footworky type jumping course that's in an arena. So it's they affectionately know it as the 3-day 3-way. So because it does take place usually over a couple days, but I've been doing that for a long time. So that's my true love. My first love is the horseback riding.
That's really cool.
And do you have that available to you right now? Do you still doing it?
Sort of. Yeah. I mean, I didn't, I usually just train horses for people. So I didn't have the opportunity to bring my own horse out here with me. That would have been hella expensive anyways. So I'm lucky enough to, say, hey, I train, I coach, things like that. And I've found a few people that want me to, come sit on their horses, school them, get some saddle time, even, teach their riders as well. So I can at least keep it going. And then if and when I get back to the mainland, I can, get my own horse and start competing again.
The mainland. She's already a Hawaiianer calling us the mainland.
Oh, total wash ashore status though.
When we connected with her before we started recording, it's like, how are you? She goes, oh, just another day in paradise. So, all right, you're in Hawaii, but let's go back to college. You said you started running at the end of college. Was it just like something like one day you had to go for a run, or was it like, did you just join a cross country team? What did you do? How did you get into running?
Yeah. So, I get asked this a lot, and I really have no idea what made me decide to go for that run. So I went to UMass Lowell, and they have, division sports, things like that. But I was a meteorology student. So like total weather weenie, weather, science nerd. So not really a runner at all. I just run my mouth, which is, fine. So I realized at the end of college, like, oh God, I'm going to have to get a desk job. And this ADHD thing is not going to work out well if I don't find another outlet, because I wasn't going to have time to ride horses all the time. So I somehow picked up running, I think, and just started running around Lowell, ending at the pizza shop because, treat yourself. And I do like 3-mile runs and thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And I actually saw a Facebook status memory the other day that was like, ouch, I just ran 4.4 miles. And I was like, oh, do I tell her? Because that was only a couple of years ago. And then, I basically signed up for a couple 5Ks, first half marathon, thought it was fun, got the runner's high thing and just kept running, Forrest Gump fashion.
So this is 2014. And since then, you've done over 50 half marathons and marathons combined.
Yeah.
In only it's not a few years, but only like 7 years. And not only that, you're freaking fast. Did you know you were fast when you started, or did this like build up?
No, I had no idea. And I finished my first half marathon. I think it was Horseneck half or something like that. I finished it in like 1:35 or something. And I was like, oh, Mom, we're going to, we're going to go home. And I just want, a slice of pizza and whatever. And then I got called up for an age group award. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I like winning stuff like that. Cool. Got like the wine and stuff. So, yeah, and then I was like, oh, let's see if I can do better on the next one and the next one. And there were a lot of next ones after that. And I just kept, seeing how far I could go. And I really wish I knew like a shred of talent before college because I could have saved some money. But I mean,
True. Yeah.
yes, I had no idea. I just kept running and, do it as much as I enjoy it. If I don't enjoy it anymore, if I feel like I'm getting a little sour, then I'm, happy to be like, let's just do it for fun again.
Right.
So
That's good. So what's your favorite distance to run so far? Because I know you've been getting into halves and fulls, and you've even been dabbling in ultras lately. So what distance is your like sweet spot?
I think the marathon has quickly become my favorite because I hate 5K. Like can't do it. I cannot break 18 minutes in the 5K.
Nobody likes a 5K, by the way. Nobody. They suck.
Oh, they're awful. They're awful. And like, yeah, I mean, I'm at just about a 250 marathon, but despise the 5K. I would rather run a marathon than a 5K. So I think that's, where I found that I'm most competitive. And I just enjoy, those long, mundane training runs too.
Mm-hmm.
The daily grind, the daily let's go out for an hour and a half or 2 hours.
They kind of clear your mind. Like it just lets you unwind for a little bit. No, I get that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
You grew up here. You start running around here. You realize you're pretty good. You're pretty fast. You're picking up some awards. Did you start traveling to do races or did you just stay in the area?
Yeah, for the most part, I've stayed pretty local, like weekend trips, road trips kind of thing. I have ventured a little bit, out to Chicago. I've done some races like at Disney, Marine Corps Marathon and a few of their races, obviously with my husband being in the Marines, those races are extra special now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, mostly been around New England, wherever, a tank of gas will take me is where I go race. So
that's a good plan. I know traveling to races just gets so expensive. So it's a lot of planning, but do you usually how far in advance do you plan your calendar or will you just jump into something?
So like the big ones I'll plan, far out because I want to make sure that, I have the best trip possible and have that big goal race that everybody has.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those big races on my calendar every year. So I don't have to do much planning for that. But, like there was one time I signed up for a marathon. I think it was Manchester City Marathon. I signed up like 8 days prior.
Oh, wow.
No, I think it was because my friend was like, you should do another fall marathon. And I was like, well, watch me, I will. And then I was like, oh my God, what did I do? And then 8 days later, I was up at like 3 a.m. eating a bagel, getting ready to go to New Hampshire.
You picked a hilly one too.
Yeah, I didn't know until after I crossed the finish line what the elevation profile looked like. So
that is definitely a gnarly one. That is, I have to say, out of all the marathons I've done, especially in like New England, that one is like my least favorite. I did not like the unpaved rail trail portion.
Oh, she hates.
I was like, nope.
Yeah, she hates running on dirt. She becomes a puss face and everything, and like starts like just like. You
don't get the traction you would on a road, and then you just feel slow and just like, you could do so much better. But luckily, it was only a small part for Manchester. But
it's flat. It's a flat part, and she's just, you should go running with her on a trail. It's fun. Bring a microphone. All right, so we're a storytelling podcast, and we would love to hear some of your stories. And I'm thinking, okay, usually that first marathon experience is a good story. Tell us about your first marathon.
So my first marathon was a birthday gift to myself. It was the day after I turned, I think, 23 years old. So it was in Boston, and it was a 10-loop course, and it was like 86 degrees. And I was, I had no idea what it was like to say, what it actually took to run a BQ. I was like, well, I'm going to go run a BQ on my first marathon. So I was doing the laps, not fueling properly because, every, rookie mistake, you don't fuel properly, you don't drink enough, you go out too fast. So I did all of those things and did it so well that I actually threw up about 100 feet before the finish line.
No.
So the medical people are chasing me. It was probably more than 100 feet, but they were trying to grab my shirt and pull me over because I'm just, letting it all out, as I'm going down the finisher's chute. And
in full stride.
I'm like, I'll talk to you in a minute. I'm fine. And yeah, I crossed the finish line, and the finish line photos I did not purchase. So you just see me, and I'm just like, I look like I'm gagging, and I like walk like immediately into the parking lot because it's right next to a parking lot, and just continue to throw up. And I didn't stop my watch, but I did hit the BQ that day. So
Oh, wow.
and then yeah, marathon. I was like, well, marathon number 2 is going to be a revenge tour. So, but yeah, my first marathon, I totally did everything wrong, threw up all over myself, and yeah,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
how I decided I was running more of them.
So usually after that, I remember my first. It was like the most miserable day, just rain, cold, and I was like, nope. And it took me 3 years to do another one. So I envy you for just being like, all right, let's try again.
Yeah, this throwing up thing was fun. Let's do more of it.
Yeah.
We don't have a code word for puking.
Code green? Could that be it?
God.
I don't know.
I think this was straight bile. Like it was not good.
All I'm thinking is like you had 100 yards to go. You said puke and rally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had that like mile 21 though.
Oh my God. So did the medical team catch up to you? You said you went straight to the parking lot or something. Did they catch up?
Yeah, so I had to go back and go get my medal, and they were like, "Come here," and I was like, "Okay." It's like I crossed the finish line. So, but yeah, that was my first marathon, and my mom's there and everything, and she's like, and I was like, "Oh yeah, so I'm gonna do Newport in a few weeks," and she's like, "You're what?" And I was like, "Uh-huh." Like this one didn't come up. I need to try it again. So
That's
And then
right.
it happened.
That's
That-
right. I
that
love
was
it. That was the first, and we're about 50 in now. So that's awesome. Wow. I did not know that story was going to go there. All right. Tell us some of your other favorite marathon or just running stories.
yeah, let's see. I mean, Chicago, is one of my favorite races. That was my first like, ooh, I'm going to travel somewhere for a race. It was also the first time I broke 3 hours. So, that one was very special. It was me and my sister out in Chicago for like 5 days. So that was really
Get up
fun.
to trouble.
Crossing the finish was really cool because they shoved 2 beers in your hand. And like at that point, you're so desperate. Like, I normally wouldn't pound a beer at like 10 a.m., like not even in college, but I had 2 16-ounce IPAs in like 5 or 8 minutes. And then I had to call my sister because I'm laying in the fields at the finishers thing. I'm in front of some stage, everything's spinning. Can you come help me? And so yeah, that was a very memorable finish line too, just because I was so excited for breaking 3. So that was really cool.
I would have done, actually, I ran Chicago just this past year, and I kind of had a similar experience to you where that beer at the end is you're just like, it's freezing cold and it's like, just tastes so wonderful. And I was all pumped because I cracked 4 for the second time. So I was like, yes, I'm finally feeling like I'm running a little bit better. And just, I think I chugged it. Did I take a video of it? I was like, there's nothing better than a finish line beer. And it's directly, I think I got my medal, I got a beer, and then I got the snacks. Like, there's no better way to do it.
No better.
I didn't get 2, though. That might have been my mistake. I should have gotten 2.
Oh yeah, you got a double fist, like go big or go home. So
I was kind of hyperventilating after because I was just so like, what did I just do? I was like, I'm okay. I'm fine. Like I could not catch my breath the whole time, like after this race, but Chicago is something special. So if everybody's looking for a destination race and you are lucky to get in through the lottery or qualifying, definitely pick Chicago. I am for that one all the way.
I agree.
So you broke 3 hours in that race, and currently
Oh, she fast.
She fast. Right. How far along in your marathon journey was that? Was that like your 3rd marathon or your 24th? How long did it take you to get there?
I think it was my 10th marathon. I think. Yeah, I kind of track like at this point, because I'm just like, yeah, I hit my goal of going sub 3, and now it's just, going on to the next one. And I forget how many I actually did before I broke 3, but that was October 2019. So probably, maybe like 6 or 8 marathons. But I don't.
Let me
quite
ask you
remember.
this. All right. So your first ever marathon was with the one when you puked everywhere in the last 100 yards. What do you wish you knew then that you know now after doing about 50 something marathons?
I definitely, hydrate yourself. because hydrate or dihydrate.
I like that one. I haven't heard that.
Yeah. Sunscreen is another good one. Oh, and don't put Cliff shots in your sports bra.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, that was I like have scars all over like my rib, and I put some like right on this strap here on my shoulder. I have scars there. So yeah, don't do
I
that.
thought one exploded on you or something, but that's like it was mean to you.
Yeah. No amount of Bonnie Glide was going to help that one.
God, that's good. That's not fun.
I feel for you.
So you mentioned the photos that you did not purchase. What would it take for you to purchase those photos now that you've done all these
For
races?
you to give her the money to do it. I ain't spending money on it.
It comes up because we had someone on quite a while ago, one of our first true stories, and she mentions the photos, and she goes, if you look at those photos, I am a bitch. I am not happy. I'm paraphrasing, but she just bought the photos last week, and we're talking it's been about 5 years.
Yep.
And she finally purchased the photos the other day because her story, she never really told anyone until she told us. We were like the third person. And then everyone's hearing the story, and they're like, hey, Sarah, you're awesome. That's great. And she finally bought the photos. I'm just wondering, these photos, they got to come out. They got to come out.
Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely buy them now that I had a successful revenge tour, like a marathon #2 where I didn't vomit all over myself. Now it's a good story. I won't say at the holiday, dinner table, because that's a little bit rude, but it's definitely a story where I'm like, yeah, I threw up all over myself, and then I did it. I was like, that was awesome. Let's do it again and again. So yeah, I would definitely, buy them as a then and now. Now that I've done better.
That's a real puke and rally. When you
For
puke,
real.
you're drinking, you puke and rally. You're like, puke, okay, cool. Grab another beer. Let's do another shot. She puked and rallied. She did the race. She puked and she goes, okay, I'm doing Newport in a couple weeks. Let's go. That's the runner's puke and rally.
Yeah,
Proud of you.
oh, fun.
So that first marathon, you got yourself a BQ.
Mm-hmm.
Did you capitalize on that Boston qualifier? Did you apply for Boston that very next time you could?
I did, yeah. So my first Boston was 2018, the year that it snowed and rained.
I did that year. I did not qualify for it, but so
yeah, that was my first Boston, and I'm glad that was not my first marathon because I probably would not have.
You would not have puked and
it's
rallied.
a little discouraging, right? Just a little bit, but congratulations for that finish. That one was nuts.
Yeah, I remember bawling my eyes going down Boylston Street, and in the photos, most of the time you'd be like, "Oh, she's crying." You couldn't even tell, because everything was wrenched. So that was fun. But yeah, that was a really good race. I'm still thawing out. I'm convinced.
Even in
that was
paradise, you're
brutal.
still thawing out.
But Boston's pretty much your hometown race, right? So you've got
Yes.
quite a streak going with that. Are you gonna keep trying to get into Boston as many times as you can?
Yeah, and especially being from Medford, lives in Medford, so that's going to be one of my trips home. So yeah, I'll come home for probably a week and a half or so. Depending on if Chris is deployed or at a training or something like that, and if we can have someone watch the dog for a little bit. But I'll definitely come for the race, and hoping to do that every year. I have this arbitrary goal of just doing 10 in a row. And now that I'm getting closer to that 10 in a row, I'm like, well, what do I do after? Do I just keep going? And yeah, probably I'll just, do it every
Boston.
time.
You got to keep doing. You got to keep doing Boston.
You have to hit 25 because when you hit 25, you become some big deal. And then you're just a lock every year as long as you keep doing it. You don't even have to qualify anymore after 25. We know this because we talked to someone who is currently on a 45-year streak.
Right.
Right. And in the middle of that streak, he was once told he will never run again, and he made it happen. So he's kept the streak alive, 45 straight. I want him to go for 50. He doesn't know if he'll make that. If you haven't heard, people have to go back and listen to the Mike Beeman episode. But I think you need to get 25 because then you just become this honorary status. So
25 is just a good number, too.
25 is a great
Why not?
number. You could probably hit.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
Repeat what you said. You cut out.
Oh, I said, I wish I was still 25. It is a great number.
I'm well
So-
past 25, but that's that's okay.
Yeah.
So how do you qualify every time? Do you just plan a race and you run a race, you get a qualifying time? Do you ever do what Erika did where you fundraise money? How do you plan ahead for the Boston Marathon?
Yeah, so I've been fortunate enough to qualify each year. And honestly, those who have to do the fundraising and the running, I'm like, their job is, 10 times harder, because people are like, oh, that must be so hard. You run, under a 3:30 or under a 3 hour. And I'm like, but a lot of people have to learn how to run their first marathon in the damn winter, first of all, and raise all that money, and sit there biting their nails, figuring out if they get into their desired charity, really. But yeah, I've been fortunate enough to qualify. I haven't really partnered with anybody for, running for charity or anything like that yet, but I'm starting to think about, branching out and seeing if I can do like a guide runner thing, even a, pacing gig if I don't get into anything, with a charity, with a charity bib. So, yeah,
that'd be so
That was
cool.
like Shalane did it last year. Alexi Pappas did it last year for some people in Boston.
I think
It's
that would be
nice.
such a
That's great.
cool experience.
Yeah. And I've seen a lot of folks, the blind runners, physically handicapped runners. And, that's something that's near and dear to me, that, that's what my mom does for work, is she works
nice.
with handicapped adults. So I kind of grew up around that, and it's a cause that my mom's very passionate about. And she's definitely, made me more aware of that population and how it'd be so rewarding to help somebody out in that way. So that kind of planted the seed for me. I haven't done much with it yet, but it's on my radar.
Great.
That would be awesome.
Mhm.
I'll be very excited for you when you do that. I'll be following that journey for sure.
Mhm.
So we've
Excellent.
determined you're fast. You're very fast, and we're not a bragging type podcast, but I think you've broken tape a few times, right?
Yeah. And yeah, more than just K-tape, which I usually do. So I definitely, do the broken, the K-tape thing more. But yeah, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to, land myself in a few races where I've done well, and it's been pretty cool. I try not to think too much about like, oh, I'm out there to break the tape and, all these other things. I'm just out there to, update my Instagram profile with, I did another marathon, I did another half marathon. But yeah, breaking the tape is pretty cool. So it's a very unique experience. And I know that a lot of people try really hard to finish a marathon, let alone do well at one. So I feel very fortunate and grateful in that way.
What are some of your favorite races that you've won? Can be anything.
Or just ran.
I mean, yeah, in general. Yeah, favorites are good. She's already mentioned Chicago, but just anything.
Yeah, Vermont is definitely Vermont City Marathon up in Burlington is a wonderful, wonderful race. I did come in second this year for the RRCA championship division in the marathon. I didn't even know I was entered in the elite field until I showed up to get my bib. And they were like, so there's this, conference thing at 4. And I was like, oh God. So I was entered into the championship division. And I was like, I'm not even like tapered or anything like that. So I went out and ran the next day. I had like 8 slices of pizza the night before, 6 beers, because that's my race
love
meal. It's awesome.
You fit in well with us.
Yes.
Yeah, ran. It wasn't my fastest marathon, but I, stayed competitive the whole way and came in
Very
second
nice.
at one of my favorite races. So yeah, that was a big ugly cry moment for me.
What were the toppings on the pizza?
Important questions we need to know.
Buffalo chicken.
Buffalo chicken. Ooh. That could
Did you
fire
have a
up the
side
GI
of,
system.
No, did you have a side of Tums with that? That's Buffalo's.
That's and my base meal. So like even before my first half marathon, I just had buffalo chicken pizza, and then like I said, I got an age group award. I was like, oh, shit, this works.
Stick
like,
with it. Stick
keep
with
going.
it.
Yeah. So yeah. Buffalo chicken pizza and beer.
What was the
great.
beer
So,
then? What was the beer choice?
Well, it's for Burlington.
For Burlington and in general for the night before your race.
Usually I keep it light, Bud Light or something like that. But when we're in Vermont, I mean, you have access to like the best breweries ever. You have Alchemist, you have Foam, you have Burlington Beer Company. So yeah, I, definitely did a round the world tour the night before the race and after.
Is this a typical thing for you before a race?
Uh-huh.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. This is
You
awesome.
honestly fit right in with him because he was just telling a story about how he decided hey, there's a half marathon the next day. I'm going to eat a pizza and drink a 6-pack. And
I'm in a hot
Bam.
tub with a bunch of buddies the day before a wedding drinking beer, and I left early at early at 2 a.m. They're still drinking. And I go, yeah, I think I'm going to run a half marathon tomorrow. And the best part was I PR'd.
You see that, like, that's where the magic happens, is it's in the beer and the buffalo sauce. And, you know, people are like, oh, that's crazy. I'm like, I don't know. How does it feel to be wrong?
I'll have to try the buffalo sauce. That might scare me a little bit. The buffalo sauce about the next day might have something we'll talk about soon. You know, the Code Browns that I think you've had a few, but yeah, I might have to try the buffalo chicken pizza.
I would just need some Tums because I always get like a little acid refluxiness after that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm not so worried about the Code Brown with the pizza.
So
but, yeah.
you just ran a marathon, by the way, in Hawaii. Were you able to get your buff chick pizza in Hawaii the way you wanted it?
No, so we didn't because we didn't do our research and figure out where the good pizza on the military base was. And yeah, so I ended up having like grilled salmon and sauteed peppers the night before. And then I had a lot of Smart Food popcorn. So, you know, like the carbs came through somewhere. But yeah, Honolulu was just a race that I entered just to be like, well, I moved to Hawaii and 8 days later ran a marathon. Like I wasn't out there to be competitive, so I wasn't as hung up on it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we smashed a pizza like after. So
Very nice.
I love it. Pizza is so good. I'm allergic to dairy, and so I can't have cheese, but I love pizza. And so I get a pizza with like a bunch of toppings and no cheese. And I order it sometimes and they look at me. I was just in Disney World and the guy's like, I can't get you a pizza. I'm like, I want a pizza. He goes, nah, they're all pre-made with cheese. I'm like, then hand make me one, please. I was dying for a pizza. But pizza's so good. It is so good.
it is.
That's really disappointing. You didn't tell me that. He couldn't make you a pizza. Aw. So we already did tease a little bit that you had some Code Brown stories for us. So without including the first marathon barfing incident, what else you got for us?
Spare no details, Amanda.
Okay, I'll do my best. I try to block some of these memories out because they're just that bad, which is how I end up running more races because I'm like, oh, it wasn't that bad.
There you go.
But no, so I was going for it, like, you know, a PR at Marine Corps Marathon at the end of October. And it was amazing. Like, was on it like sand on a beach. And usually if I get derailed or if I sense that there's going to be a problem within mile, you know, like the first half to a little bit over half. So if I get to mile 15, I'm like, cool, good, gone. And yeah, no, that mile 21, I felt the descent.
Oh,
like,
no.
Things were great until they weren't. And I just remember I'm running up this bridge, you know, so it's a long bridge. And I just feel like oh no, like there it is. And I'm running and I'm going at like a 6:20. And you can see on my, you know, Garmin stats, like I just tanked to like a 9:30 because I'm like shuffling for a minute. I'm like, there's nowhere for me to go.
No.
So I don't know, like, I definitely shit in a bush because I got over the bridge and I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna have a blowout in this race. I want nice photos. I've got my red, white, and blue socks on. I'm like, you can't do that to the American flag socks, Amanda. So I like hop a guardrail at the end of this bridge and almost fall down the gully to hide behind a tree and went to the bathroom because there was no anywhere. I'm like on the stretch of the highway. There's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I hopped off the course, you know, did my thing, kept running. Mile 23 in front of the Marriott Hotel in Washington, it happened again. And I was like, you gotta be shitting me. Like, no pun intended. So this time, you know, there's people everywhere. I can't just go in a bush. So I run into the lobby of the Marriott Hotel and did not pause my watch because I wanted accurate readings. But I'm like, I need a bathroom. And the lady looks at me like, what is going on? Like, I'm heaving, like, you know.
Get the hint, lady. Help me.
And the desk lady just looked at me like, she's like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I need to go to the bathroom. And she's like, that way. And just points. And I just start shuffling, you know, like, oh God, it was so bad. And then I made a promise to myself that if I felt that I had to go again, I was not stopping again because I was like, I'm wasting so much time right now that I'm going to be coming in really close to 3 hours. And I was like, I was on PR status for, you know, for a long time. So yeah, I kept running and crossed the finish line. And then 5 minutes later, I went to the bathroom again, but I did not have to stop again in that race. But yeah, and then yeah, I threw up on the sidewalk too. That was fun.
Oh my god.
It
So
was
that was
just-
like a double whammy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was very sad.
Oh, so it was not the race you were envisioning, but did you come anywhere close to that PR, or that just went out the window?
No, yeah, it definitely it went down the shitter, that's for sure. Because yeah, I mean, I was on for like a 250 or just over 250, and I think I came in at like 256.
Oh, goddamn shit.
Yeah, I was
Just ruins everything.
I was really disappointed, but I mean, you know, I finished and everything like that, so I got my medal and had my beer after. So it was a good time.
That's good. So tell me about your PR race. What holds your PR at this point?
It was for the marathon, it was Boston 2021.
Oh, no way. Oh, that was
Yeah.
the October one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Very nice.
That was, I mean, you couldn't have dreamt of a better race day than that. I mean, and honestly, I was crying starting in Wellesley because, you know, the leaves are just falling everywhere. You know, it was magic. Boston back after a long time away. So, yeah, that was my PR race, and that one went very well. So,
What was it like training for an October Boston? Because normally it would be in the like springtime, so you would have to do all the winter running. Do you like winter running, or was it easier to train for it in the fall? Or
yeah, so I would say I'm a minority in that I love running when it's baking hot. Like, you know, it's since I've been out in Hawaii, I'm going out at like 2 p.m. every day. Like, you know, it's 82 degrees. Like, I love roasting, which is ironic because I'm a ginger. So definitely need a lot of sunscreen, but yeah, I love summer training. Even in winter, I mean, I wear too many layers just because I would rather be sweating and overheating than be cold.
I am 100% with you on that. I just ran, was it yesterday? Yeah, today's Monday. Yesterday, it was probably like 27 degrees, and I'm with like a vest and a Under Armour and a sweatshirt over that, and I had insulated leggings with sweatpants over that, and I felt like the little kid from A Christmas Story, just running around outside. But I mean, I just get so
You did a
goddamn cold.
Demented Santa run.
Oh yeah, the one that you slept through. Way to go!
I never got the details
Yes,
of where
you
to.
did. Yes, you did.
I
You're
don't
lying.
think I did.
I sent you the thing.
I don't know.
Anyways, our girl Rachel put on a run where she spelled out the word Mary in Manchester. So we ran the streets and we spelled out a word, and it was kind of fun. And you slept right through it.
I did not. I
Yes,
don't
you
think.
did.
I remember.
I got the receipts.
If you sent me
Anyways,
an invite,
just ignore us arguing here.
maybe she did. But I remember getting home from my hockey game at like 11 p.m. and being like, I don't know where I'm going tomorrow, and I'm not going to bug her right now. It's 11 p.m. So I did sleep in. I have 2 little ones at home. I took advantage of sleep. I have 3 kids, but 2 of them are 1.5. So
Oh God.
yeah, yeah. So I was like, she forgot about me. It's all these girls. It was a She Runs This Town run, or kind of, not really.
No, well, that's
Yeah.
where the invite was, and that's why I just sent you a thing saying, "Okay, it's right here."
Occasionally, I join them on it, and I'm the only guy, so I take the photos.
That's
Nice.
yeah. We actually had one other guy there, and he did take the photos. I think his name was Charles. I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
Charlie. Charlie bit my finger. All right, so
Weirdo.
you've seen that YouTube video, right?
Yeah, you're
Oh, yeah.
dating yourself with that video there.
Yeah, they're like grown adults now. All right. I have a feeling you have more Code Browns, though.
Not any public ones. Yeah, no, I'm definitely a frequent flyer of the, you know, mid-break potty stop, and I'm gonna, you know, conveniently stop my run 3 miles early because not just because there's a Dunkin' Donuts, but because that Dunkin' Donuts has a bathroom. So I definitely do that a lot. But honestly, yeah, no, it's been better because I figured out that I'm not supposed to eat sugar as much. So like for probably 2 or 3 years, like it was a daily thing. Like,
Oh no.
bad. So yeah, I figured out that I don't need to eat sugar and I should avoid it. And it's been better. So, but that Code Brown at Marine Corps Marathon was just the weirdest friggin' thing. Cause I was like, this hasn't happened in so long and it's happening on my PR day. But yeah.
Did you have your pizza the night before? Your pizza and beer before
So
Marine Corps?
it wasn't a very good pizza. Like it was, because we couldn't, it was the night before the race, all the restaurants were full. So it wasn't like the pizza that I hoped and dreamed of. It was basically like, it was almost like a DiGiorno that was undercooked.
Oh.
So big sad over that one. And I'm not going to say that I blame the pizza. I won't do that. But
I will.
would.
It was the pizza's fault.
Yeah, I mean-
DiGiorno's fault.
buffalo chicken never broke my heart. So
There you go.
Like,
Got to throw somebody under the bus. Let's make it the pizza.
Maybe it was that the water that was in the beer there.
yeah, I have no idea. It was something.
I think it's amazing that before every big race, you drink beer and have a pizza. I'm in love with this. This is awesome.
I mean, if you don't have fun doing it, what's the point,
Right. Oh, it's so great. I think I'm just going to, the one time I ever won an award at a race was when I did the Total Image 10 miler, and the night before I ate a whole pizza. And I signed up, I think, like 12 hours before the race, and I'm like, I'll just have a pizza. And
Something is working.
yes, I should have realized that then it's working. But now that I'm talking to Amanda, I'm realizing pizza is not only the key to happiness, but success.
Yep. I mean, yeah, like, oh, I can't, have beer and I can't, eat junk food. I'm like, that's just not a life that I want to live. Like, if you're not having fun, so you're sore and you're like deprived of the food that you want, like you're sore, tired. I'm like, nope.
I did have a pizza right after my first Ironman. I remember that. And I'm realizing what I did wrong now because I had it after the Ironman and it was very difficult for me to eat the pizza. It was weird. The roof of my mouth hurt and I couldn't like chew it and swallow it. And now I'm realizing the pizza I shouldn't have had after. I should have had before. I'm freaking figuring it all out. I'm figuring it all out now. I'm signing up for an Ironman tonight, and I'm going to get a pizza before, because then I'll PR my Ironman.
Your wife gonna kill you. Anyways.
Hey, so I'm looking at future goals here, and you have something in mind for 2024.
Yeah, the Olympic trials. So
Ooh.
I'm trying to, wrap my head around how I'm going to get there. But yeah, I mean, the past couple of months have been very focused on moving out to Hawaii and things like that. So, life happening has kind of derailed my, the first stepping stones of my plan to get to the Olympic standard. And then they tightened the Olympic standard right around the same time. So I was like, oh no. So now I got extra work to do. But
isn't it like a 235 now?
I think it's like a 237. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm going to get there, but I mean, I definitely have that year-round training weather now. So I'm like, well, if I'm going to, go for it anywhere, I might as well try it now. So
do you follow a plan or do you have a coach or what do you do? Are you teaching yourself along the way?
So I don't have a coach or anything like that. I just kind of run until I get tired, I guess, which is literally how I've got this far. And it's also landed me in a boot more than once. So I've definitely, tried to learn a couple things as I go. But I've, pretty successful with training and progressing well for the past year and a half. So I'm going to try and just keep educating myself, looking at, maybe seeing if I can look at what pros do for workouts, because they sometimes share their perspectives and see what resonates with me, see what seems absolutely crazy and be like, okay, so that's not what I want to do. But I honestly feel like I run best if I'm just running to run. I'm not racing as much as pre-COVID era, but I'm enjoying the quote training more because I'm just out running because nobody's telling me what to do.
Okay. I like that. Running on feel, actually enjoying yourself. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. Because if you're not, like you said, if you're not having fun, why bother? Mm-hmm. Yeah,
exactly.
We were mentioning how Ashley is going to kill Eric about his soon to be another Ironman. But tell us about your husband. Tell us about Chris. Do you do a lot of your running with him? Or I know he's been a huge supporter of you on your journey. So tell us more about him. We want to know.
Yeah. So my life, husband of mine. an enabler of my running habit. So he's wonderful. He actually has a longer running career than I do. He was a runner back in high school. So he was like a track and cross country star, down in New Jersey back in his day. And I have recently got him back into running, since we've been together for going on 3 years, getting him into a few road marathons, but he's ventured into ultra running for himself. So I roll my ankles more than I care to admit, just, walking on a flat surface. So the trail thing, we don't run together on the trails very often, but we will, do a few, hobby jogs and, fun runs together. But he definitely has taken to the trail running, and I stick with my road running. And then we've done a few different races together just to say that we accomplished something together. But yeah.
How'd you two meet?
So like all great modern love stories, we met online. So COVID started March of 2020, and we met April, like 5 weeks in, basically, right at the end of April. Our first date was a 10-hour hike in the Blue Hills. So totally met this guy online for a hike in the woods with his dog at like 8 a.m. So I was like, Mom, I'm going out. And she was like, where are you going at 8 a.m.? I was like, I'm going to meet some boy and his dog in the woods. And it went well. So that's good. Like I didn't die or anything, but I was like, what am I doing? Like
He wasn't a serial killer or anything.
I asked him before I showed up. I was like, you're not going to kill me, are you?
You're not afraid you're a serial killer? No. The chances of two serial killers being at the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I don't know if I have.
That's funny. Oh, I'm sorry I'm ruining your story.
Yeah.
Tell us about the hike again.
Yeah. So it was, it was a beautiful day in April. We were socially distanced, of course. But yeah, we were out there for like 10 hours and hiked 16 miles and probably 2,500 feet of elevation gain. So like we, peed in the woods together on our first date. Like, haha,
That's breaking the ice. That is breaking the ice. So good for you.
Yeah. It was wonderful.
That is what peed in the woods together. That is fucking awesome.
I think you broke him. He's losing his shit right now.
Oh, that's why we do this podcast with us.
Honestly.
I'm sorry.
You're right. I think he needs a minute.
You're awesome.
It was a long day.
What else are you going to do? Yeah.
Just
Dude. We need a timeout. I think you made him cry laughing. This is a first. You didn't even do this for Neil.
I'm sorry.
He's
That is
literally
so
losing
funny.
his shit.
I've never. No one's made me laugh like that on the podcast.
Deep breath. We got to continue. So the date went well.
Together on our first date.
Yeah.
What else is she going to do?
It hurts right now. We just talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
He needs a tissue. Time out. Gotta help him out.
Oh my god.
5 minutes later.
She just said she social distanced on her first date and peed together, though.
That's the start of a
Amanda,
good relationship.
You broke me, and yes, it's the start of a perfect relationship.
All right, stop thinking about it because you're going to derail again.
Where were we? I'm back, and I don't know how I'm going to edit that.
You're probably not. So,
I did wash my hands, by the way.
oh, whatever.
You're welcome.
Congratulations, you washed your hands. All right.
We're not done with Chris, though. You went on your first date hiking. Take us back. Your first date. It went well. You survived. You came back home alive, and your mom was happy to see you, I'm sure.
There was a second date and a third date.
There was a second date and a third date, and then ultimately it ends in marriage and a lifetime out in Hawaii. But our second date was, I think it was another hike actually out in Holyoke. And the dog actually had a few code browns on the way out there, the truck. So yeah, another one of our bonding relationships was being pulled over on the side of the Mass Pike, cleaning dog poop out of the back seat of the truck. so that was fun. And then what else did we do? Yeah, ultimately we just did a bunch of hiking. We didn't even have our first dinner date until like July because nothing was open. So it's a really cool way to get to know somebody. We got to know each other pretty fast. So
A love story where they both swiped right.
yep.
I don't know if it was that one. That was the one for me, though. Tell me about, I saw something. Tell me about the way he proposed to you.
Yeah, so this is a cute story. So he did propose to me in May of this year at the same trailhead where we met for the first time. So we were living in Weymouth, which is, probably about 5 or 10 miles away from this trailhead. He went to the Blue Hills to go for a trail run, and then I would leave from our house in Weymouth, take the scenic long route, and get my 13 or 14 miles done, and run at the trailhead. And we would time it so that way his run would be ending in the woods at about the same time. So he thought it would be a great idea to put the ring in his trail running vest and run with it. Why he didn't leave it in the car, I don't know.
No, what happened?
Oh no, he somehow held on to it. So I have a Snapchat of the boy coming out of the woods, just parading out of the woods, running. And then he just said something like, "Hi, honey, blah, blah, blah. How was your run?" And then I stopped the video, and then I was posting it to my story on Snapchat, and I turn around and he's on one knee and box is upside down and everything. So I turned around and I was like, "Oh, I just got a Snapchat of you finishing your run." And then I looked down and he's just got a ring in a box for me. And I was like, "Oh no." So yeah, I started crying, obviously, because what else are you going to do? And then, I said that I would marry him and stuff like that. And he closed the box and forgot to put the ring on my finger. So it was upside down. And I was like, you got to put it on. And I was like, "I've never done this before, but I'm pretty sure that's how this goes." He was like, "Oh my God, yeah, I have to put it on you." So that was how we got engaged, was at the same trailhead where we had our first hike. And then
Your first pee together.
Yeah, pretty
sorry.
much. Like it all happened there. It was great. Lots of milestones on that trail.
That's really romantic, though. I love that story. He was just so nervous that he forgot to put the ring on. Oh, that's cute, though. That is definitely something to remember, and it's a fun story to share. And I'm glad you shared it with us.
Yeah, it was very cute. And then we stopped at the Walmart on the way home and got some beers and had some beers at home. So
wonderful.
But we're not big into going out and things like that. So we're like, we'll just get drunk at home. Woo! We got work tomorrow.
What is your favorite beer?
I'm honestly a big fan of the White Claws. So I don't know if that counts as beer.
Oh
The
no,
seltzer.
It's a malt beverage.
I was just at Disney World the other week, and I got a lot of those and the Trulies, and I really like them, like the wild berry, because I think they're low in sugar and stuff. And I'm trying to. We were talking sugar earlier. I'm like, I might have to kind of go that route for a little while. I mean, I love a good blueberry flavored beer, like Wachusett blueberry. You probably know have that beer. It's delicious. Sea Dog blueberry too. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, you doing the White Claws? That's cool.
Yeah, Night Shift actually makes one of my favorites. The Hoots. Oh God, those are really, really good.
Now, I know you only been in Hawaii for a couple weeks, not even. Have you gotten the chance to go around Hawaii, check out some of the drinking spots, the watering holes, or you told me you're living in a hotel right now still, right?
Yeah. So, because we're living on the military base, we have to wait until a house is empty so we can go in. But Chris's orders are Chris's orders. So we had to get here on December 3rd. Our house is ready on Friday, December 23rd. So we'll be moved in for Christmas, which will be nice. But we've ventured out to Maui Brewing. We've been to a few places in Waikiki, but it's been so hectic and busy. We haven't really had that downtime to really go explore everything. The first weekend we were here, we had the Honolulu Marathon. So we did the expo and downtown and then got up at 2 a.m. on a Sunday to go run.
Well,
so
was it 2 a.m. Hawaii time, or was it 2 a.m. your time in your head?
No, it was 2 a.m. in Hawaii. So the race started at 5 a.m.
Wow, that's early.
Yeah.
I have to say, though, the only time I wake up early for things is for a race, and that's the only time it's acceptable. So, but 2 a.m., that's pushing it. Even for that.
I was not okay for several days. I was all confused. But
oh man, you got jet lag on top of early mornings.
I think it's easier to go west, but it's harder to come back, right? Would you say that? Well, you've never traveled west of Chicago, so you don't know.
yeah, no,
It's
I don't know
gonna
any.
that's gonna be something for you when you come back here in the spring for Boston. That will be a big change.
Yeah, I haven't figured out how I want to handle. Like coming out here, I didn't really have any jet lag issues, but I'm not sure if I can bank on that going home. So I'm probably going to have to get home like 4 or 5 days early, before the race. And if I didn't need to do that, then I know for next time. But I'm not chancing Boston because Boston, I always go for my best race possible. So I don't want to put anything to chance on that day.
I think you'll do just fine with the now you got the warm weather to train in, and you're just going to put in the miles and you're going to do great. I'm hoping to volunteer again, so I'll have my little, I remember seeing you last time with my little flamingo headband, so I'll be wearing that again, looking out for you.
And I plan on being there.
Excellent. You should wear a flamingo.
I'll get him one.
I should wear. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That will work.
Yeah.
Yeah. It will look good with
Be
my
easy
head
to
of hair.
spot.
Yeah.
So I want to hear about your ultras because I am starting to dabble into ultras myself. And I mean, I've only done nothing with vert. I do basically like the little loop ones, but tell me how yours went.
Yeah, so this one we did Labor Day weekend up in Maine. I think it was like Portland and then a few miles in. It wasn't too bad of a drive. But the race itself was very well done. It was a 50K popular one in in usual Amanda fashion. I didn't look at the elevation profile or anything. Actually, didn't even put my bib on.
Oh no!
So we stayed in a tent at the camp, like near the start line, and Chris was long gone before me. He's like, "You're taking too long," because I don't take race morning seriously. Like I am asleep like an hour before gun time kind of thing. And I couldn't find my shoes. I had to pee again. I couldn't find my bagel. So Chris basically walked to the start line like 5 minutes away without me. And then I got there late, was putting on sunscreen, and then I heard the race start. And I'm still at the car.
Oh no.
So I'm like, I don't even have my bib on. I don't even have, my headphones going, my hat on. I'm running, trying to put my hat on. And run through the start line of the race. Like 5 minutes in, realized I didn't have my bib, that I left it on the car under the windshield wiper. And then 5 minutes after that first downhill of the entire race, I ate it. Like just completely went head first down this hill. First hill of my first real ultra. And I'm just crying, covered in dirt. And I'm hobbling along and I'm like, I didn't come all the way out here just to, not run. So I'm like, if I keep moving, maybe the swelling won't set in. And it definitely set in. I won't lie, but I made it for, it's supposed to be 31 miles. And the race ended up being 35 because I got lost as hell.
No.
I ended up running through a driving range on a golf course.
Oh no.
That's bad. I'm like, oh, there's a nice field here. I'm like, that looks like it might be a field that I can run in. And there's just golf balls everywhere.
No way.
So and then I like on the other side of the field, I'm like, that's where the tent was. That's where we stayed. I don't know how I got over here. So I ran through the driving range, found where our campsite was. And I was like, if I go left and then, like another left and stuff, I will end up back at the parking lot where my bib is. And so I ran through the parking lot by all the finish line and finishers area. And then I was like, I've been out here way too long. Like, I'm just going to finish my race. I could show them I've done more than 31 miles. So I ran past the end of the finisher's chute and basically put myself into the finisher's chute and I was like, I'm done here. So, and that was my first ultra, was I did 35 miles instead of 31. And got hit with
that does not sound like the race you anticipated. Have you done any ultras since?
No, I haven't.
Will there be any more ultras or are you just done? You're like, no, I'm not doing trail.
So ultra distances, yeah. So one of the goals that I have while I'm out here is to run around each of the Hawaiian Islands. So to circumnavigate each one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, whether that's on foot or on trail, I don't know, but I'll do the ultra distances. But yeah, I don't like falling down hills head first. So,
I don't blame you. That is the worst. Oh man. So if you're gonna do that for each of the islands, is the main Hawaii the biggest one? Like how long is it? Or
the big island is big.
So that's gonna take a couple of times, like to start at one point and then just connect another time.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I haven't really looked too much into Big Island yet. I'm gonna start probably with Oahu because that's where we are. Chris will bike with me, and maybe we'll or something like that. But I think Oahu is like 107 miles around. Not all of the roads, you can't, because of the mountains and stuff, there's actually not roads. So I won't be running around, each crevice and each corner.
Gotcha.
But best. So, but yeah, I think Big is probably close to like 200, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, it's big. So I just looked this up. I just Googled Hawaii Ultra Marathons. There is actually an event called the Mainly Marathons Aloha Series, and it's 4 days in June, 4 days in a row. I can't tell you. It says trail, 5K, 10K, half marathon, 50K, ultra. So it looks like a cool series you could do. And then they got something called the Hurt 100, and that is on the island that Honolulu is on. I think that is Maui.
It's Oahu. Yeah, so Chris and I are actually volunteering for an aid station at that one.
Cool.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's coming up in a couple weeks.
It is.
Oh, that would be awesome. What a cool experience that will be.
Yeah, I'm excited. They will, to watch them run. I won't be running 100 miles anytime very soon, so I'll let them do it. Have at it.
Well, it'd be cool if you did it one day. We'll have to have you back when you're in Boston because that'll be a lot of fun. You can tell us that experience. But we have two big final questions we always ask. These are the big ones. And I saved mine. I'll tell you what I do is I go on your Instagram and I scroll and I get creepy in there. And I find a photo that I want to ask you about. And I found one of a place that I love and that I do a big charity hike up every year raising money for adaptive sports. And it made me think, maybe she did that road race. And then I find this photo of all your medals, which I'm going to post today, by the way, because it's Monday and I've yet to make my Medal Monday post. And it looks like you've done this race. So I am showing you a picture on your Instagram from, I guess it's this past July, but it's at the summit of Mount Washington. Tell me the story behind this photo and what you were doing there.
Yeah, so Mount Washington, that was my first time actually being at the summit. I'm actually a meteorologist as well. So that was, bucket list item for me was going to Mount Washington Observatory. But that was also I was there for the weekend for my first actual ultra marathon. They had the Seek the Peak series, and it was, I forget what the name of the outdoor recreation center was, but it was basically a loop course, like a 5K loop course for 6 hours at the base of Mount Washington. So to benefit the observatory and everything like that. So we're participating in Seek the Peak. You were able to go and tour the observatory, meet the meteorologists, meet their resident cat, things like that. So we took the Cog Railway all the way up there, and I got that photo. So it was pretty cool.
Did you ever run the Mount Washington Auto Road Race?
I walked it.
Okay. I thought, okay. So I was hoping you ran the race, and I wanted to hear about the story about running up that mountain because I've walked that auto road about 10 times too. I would like to run it one day, but yeah, I thought you ran it. Okay, so I saw the photo. I'm like, oh, she's done the race. But that's even a better story, though. I'm guessing that little 5K loop, was that at the base of the auto road, a trail system called Great Glen Trails, or was that somewhere else?
Yep, that's the one.
Nice. I've been there many of times. Love that area. Beautiful spot.
Yeah, that was a good race. It was really, really hot. I think it was like July 15th or 18th. So.
Yeah, that's definitely
Right
that would be the peak for Mount Washington there. That's about the hottest it gets probably.
But hey, that sounds like an ultra I would do though. A 5K loops on loops for for X amount of time.
That's
what I tend to do.
What was the cog like?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, it was way better than, trying to drive up there. Because the drive down, like I would rather roll down that auto road than drive down it. So, but no, the Cog Railway was really fun. It was a really interesting perspective. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, just, looking out the back of the train and seeing the sheer angle that you're just cruising up there at, it was pretty cool. It took us like an hour to get up there. And then they leave you up there for an hour so you can walk around, go to the observatory and the museum, and then it's like 45 minutes back down.
You actually had a nice day too. Like that's kind of rare too. Those clouds rolling really fast.
I've hiked Mount Washington probably a dozen or more times, and it's very rare to get a great day out at the summit. I've had a few days that are amazing, but it's very rare. So yes, you had a great day. That photo, those whole series of photos were awesome.
Mm-hmm. All right, Amanda, we have been keeping you for so long, and I know you're itching to get out there for your run since...
What time is it out there?
It is 4:30.
Okay, and to put that into perspective, it is 9:30 p.m. here on the East Coast.
So yeah, she needs to get out on her run before it gets too dark. Well, before it gets dark. She told me she got a couple hours. But so we have ourselves a Spotify playlist, and we like to compile with our interviewees, adding whatever song that they like to either listen to while running, anything that pumps them up, just your favorite song in general. Do you want to add a song to the list?
Yeah, so I have two songs that I always listen to before every big race.
Give them both.
Paradise by Coolio. Just,
nice.
It's wonderful. It pumps you up big time. And Benny and the Jets by Elton John.
Benny!
I don't think we have either of those on the playlist, so you get two because you are super awesome, and I'm still super impressed by you. I just love following your Instagram, especially with all the Hawaii pics. I'm living vicariously through you.
It's funny how these things happen because I never referenced Benny and the Jets in quite a long time, but I was at the dentist like 6 hours ago, and my dental hygienist is pregnant, and she goes, "You won't see me in 6 months because I'll be on leave, and you'll see me in a year because I'm having a baby boy." And they're going between two names right now for the boy, and the dad wants Maverick. She wants Benjamin. And I just go to her, it has to be Benjamin because she likes nicknames. And I go, then he can be like, Benny, Benny, Benny and the Jets. It's a great song.
See, with Maverick, though, I think of my friend just got a puppy and they named him Maverick. And that's all I can think of is just adorable, like chocolate lab. So,
you know what?
Benny is a great name.
We're not done asking you questions. Amanda, what's your thoughts on Top Gun?
So I'm not a movie buff at all. I have seen it. But my husband had to like force me to see the original before I was allowed to go see the one that just came out. But I thought the original was good, so I'd only seen it, over the summer. But I'm usually not a fan of the remakes and, like the Volume 2 and stuff like that. I thought they did a great job with Top Gun. Like, I also love One Republic, and they have a few songs in there. So I was like, hey, this is great, just dancing around. But it was one of the few movies that were remade where I was like, yo, this is cool.
Yeah, it's great. Some great movies here, but can you believe my co-host here has never seen it?
I don't know. I just couldn't get through some parts of it, and maybe I'll give it another shot.
She thinks it's cheesy, but then she likes, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and all those.
It's a different kind of cheesy, though. Like,
it's still a good movie.
Yeah. Maybe as your Christmas present, I'll watch it for you.
Well, we're going to have a viewing party, actually.
Oh,
so,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because Nicole Bryant wants to be there for that one.
Perfect.
So.
All right, we'll do that.
Cool. This was awesome. So you're going for a run after this, I guess, is what I take.
Yeah, now that stuff's not blowing away. So I'm probably going to have to stay on the base. I've been venturing out into town a little bit more, but at the risk of being caught in some thunderstorms again, I'll stay on base and find some miles in the neighborhoods. And so.
Go out there, enjoy your run. Thank you so much for coming on the pod. And I hope when you come back in the spring that we get a chance to meet you. I know you're going to be seeing family and everything, but it would be a blast to see you. And if not, at least on the course when you run by us, we get a high five.
Absolutely. Of course. Yeah, I'll be looking for the flamingo headbands. So
I guess I have to wear them now. I guess I'm like
you're stuck.
Committed to it. Mm-hmm. I had no say in the matter. It's just going to happen.
Yeah, I have to.
All right. Well, Amanda, you were awesome. Thank you for sharing some of your stories.
And thanks for breaking Eric.
Yeah, the first time I've been broken. 30 plus episodes and I've been broken now. Tears coming out, snot coming out of my nose. Had to take a break to go clean up. Never happened to me yet. It's the first.
All right. Thank you, Amanda. We'll talk to you soon.
It was my pleasure.
Let's give it up for Amanda. Oh, you were just too freaking cool. I am loving that you're in Hawaii right now. Very jealous. I'm just very envious of all of your wonderful races and achievements, and good for you, girl.
You know what I noticed when I was editing was I asked her the question if she ever did the Mount Washington Auto Road running race. And she goes, I walked it. And it didn't cross my mind right
She's
then.
just like us.
Well, no, but I was like, oh, okay. You walk, so you walked the auto road. You didn't run the race. And I'm like, wait a second, editing. I'm like, she did do the race. She has the medal, but she was being funny, saying she walked it and it totally went
Over your head.
right over my head. I was like, oh, you walked the auto road. Oh, I see. No, she did do the race. And I totally get the pun there. So
Who actually runs that? That's what. How much of a grade is that?
it's steep. I walk it every year.
Well,
Like,
no, you walk it, but like, who can run that? Who actually runs that?
There is one YouTube video of a guy who did it on the bike, and I like kept fast forwarding through parts. And when he the tagline of the title is what made you hit play, because when he gets to the finish line, it's just him like,
Because it's ridiculous.
and he's like throwing up blood and all
Oh
this,
my
and it was
God.
like a the camera shot was like a helmet cam, so you don't see him, you just hear everything.
Oh, that guy
right?
is not okay.
Right.
Oh,
but
he's not okay.
He was hustling up there. I would like, and I know it's scary. It would definitely like be like, I would need to seriously train, but I want to do that race one day. I'll do the auto road race. I'll have
Can't you do it as like a team? Like if
You mean like a relay?
no,
I don't-
no.
okay,
Like
'cause
if you get in, I have to get in, or like we don't run it.
I don't know, but I want no part to do with the relay. If I do it, I want to do the whole thing.
No, I know, I would too. But the only way I would do it is if I had like you with me or something.
That's something I definitely want to do. It's
Yeah.
on the bucket list.
Okay.
I know a few people who've done it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do the Adaptive Hike every year, and Chester, who his personal like home nurse or something, he's done that race multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Mike. So Mike's done that race multiple times. Everyone's going to be walking that race, but man, like, okay, so the thing about that road is the very beginning is super steep.
Mm-hmm.
Try saying that, 3 times fast. Super steep, super steep, super steep.
Did you? Oh, this is off topic too. Did you ever see when was it Travis Pastrana?
Yes, what a video.
Tooling up there.
So
That was pretty nice.
There's some great YouTube videos of that auto road, of the bike races, the running, the winter time. You can go up there and snowshoe. The Travis Pastrana, so the Subaru WRX cars and all that, the rally races, pretty cool. It's actually on. This is a big deal for iRacing. So iRacing is for those gamers. It is basically a racing simulator, and all the tracks are NASCAR tracks or F1 tracks. They added the auto road, and it's their first of that.
way.
It's their first ever iRacing's first ever race course of that kind that has one starting point and one ending point, because everything else they have are just actual race tracks. And so you can now race the Mount Washington Auto Road on iRacing. And the cool thing is you can do it in a Formula One car, you can do it in NASCAR, you can do it on a Subaru WRX like Travis Pastrana.
Options, man.
It's not easy. It's a real game, but we're not an iRacing podcast.
No.
So
Off topic.
shout out to all of them. They're down in Massachusetts, iRacing.
Okay.
So if you haven't noticed, everybody, we're no longer virtual. We're together because we tried a couple days ago to do the second half, and it just went foobar. I'll call it foobar. And we tried a couple things, and I'm just like, instead of editing it, I'm like, hey, we just did we're meeting. Huh?
What's FUBAR?
Foobar. You never heard of foobar?
No.
Foobar. FUBAR. Fucked up beyond all recognition.
Oh,
Have you ever seen Saving Private Ryan?
a long time ago.
There's this funny scene when they use foobar, and the translator in there, can't figure it out, and they're like, no, foobar, it's French or it's German or something. You should know this. And he goes, and they can never figure out. Vin Diesel is the one who says it in Saving Private Ryan. And so, yeah, FUBAR, fucked up beyond all recognition.
It was that bad. Oh, no.
Well, no, I just didn't want to edit 3 different pieces.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
I'm like, hey,
Might as well give it another shot.
I'm like, we're getting together for some recording on Monday night. Let's just do it right here in person because it's more fun in person. I'm right next to you. High five. Yeah. So
actually connected to.
Yeah. You look at the elbow, you never miss. So we got some fun things planned for 2023, everybody.
Yes, we do.
We want to talk about a few. One, we are going to do, I got to find my list here. So we talked about our new intro song that we love.
Yes.
We're going to do more Instagram lives. Mm-hmm. And we're going to do these when you're looking your finest after some races.
Sweaty, salty.
That's right. And we'll do it with a few others. Like maybe, and I'm just thinking here off the cuff, because Dopey's coming up in a couple weeks or like next week. Maybe we can get Denise to do, she was our first interview. Maybe she can be our first Instagram live. I want to do these like post race, little bonus feature.
That would be cool.
Right. You know, like
get her take on it. I hope she has a good time out there.
And then like if we do something, call it Shamrock. Instead of doing an episode on it, let's just do a quick Instagram live hit.
That'd be fun.
So we're going to be more active on Instagram live. When you go to, I want to be good at this though, before your race in Japan.
Okay. Well, it's coming up. You have like 2 months. 2 months.
2
months.
You got to get ready. You got 2 months.
Oh, I'll be fine.
All right.
I will be fine. It's you that's got some work to do.
Going for your big medal. But we'll just do some fun Instagram live hits. And then about a couple days later, we'll throw them on the feed. So you guys, if you missed it, you can still check it out. The big thing we got coming up for this year, though, is probably sometime around the beginning of February, you're going to see us join Patreon. Mm-hmm. Patreon is something I've been dabbling with and researching, and I support Ryan Van Duzer on Patreon. Mm-hmm. I used to support someone else, too, when he was on it.
Yeah.
And basically, it's a way, if you like someone and the content they're putting out, you can support them. And I got to figure out if I'm going to do tiers or just one price point. But I want to remind you all, none of you have to do this. Mm-hmm. None of you have to give us money to do in the podcast. The podcast is still free. It's still fun for us. No one has to do it. But if you would like to support us, I'm thinking about setting up a Patreon, and I will tell you kind of what the money goes towards. It does not go in my wallet or yours. Nope. The money goes towards the podcast.
Yep. It's going to go towards our operating costs, like our Buzzsprout.
That's right. That Buzzsprout's website.
Hosting service.
Site.
Yep, that's the one.
And they put all our stuff out on Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon Music and all that. Buzzsprout does that, gives us all our cool data.
They do our magic mastering.
That's right, man.
All that good stuff.
Thank God for magic mastering.
Right.
That's the only reason. That is the only way we sound good, because of them. So, yeah.
I can't control the volume of my voice, but magic mastering can.
Or when you're talking really quiet, it brings the volume up for you. So, no, it's awesome. So, Patreon, I'm going to figure that out in the next few weeks. You can look forward to that around February. And if you would love to support us, we would really appreciate that. It's not going to be a lot. I'm thinking no more than $3 a month, but it's basically one of those subscription type things where, hey, if you like what you're doing, you can put $3 towards it a month. And I think year 2, well, this is year 2, but if we continue with Patreon beyond then we'll get into tiers where you can have benefits. Like one might be a benefit. Well, here, I'll tell you what. If you do support us, you will get a big epic shout out on the podcast.
Hell yes.
But the tiers are like sometimes Doozer does a tier where if you pay, I'm making the money up, but $1 a month, you'll get a virtual high five. $2 a month, he'll sing your song, he'll sing happy birthday to you. $5 a month, if you're ever in Boulder, he'll go get a burrito, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when we get to like $5 a month, Erika will go out and grab a bagel with you.
Oh, hell yeah. More carbs, the better.
We'll do that regardless. Okay. Yeah. But we're going to be joining Patreon. Another thing that might come in the near future will be merch.
Oh, how cool will that be?
It will be awesome. But we won't have a fancy web page or anything. Basically, if you're interested in merch, we have done some mock-ups. Our girl, Alejandra, did the mock-ups for us. She's the girl who did our logo. And we're going to start, maybe making some shirts for you and I on my wife's Cricut machine and the heat press and trying it out and seeing how we do and deciding if we're going to do it on our own or have some other t-shirt company make us t-shirts. If you know of anyone, let us know.
Yeah, we're in the market.
Yeah. So that's going to happen, but we're also doing that. We're not looking to make money off you. But if you're interested, we can figure it out. Maybe if like we get 10 people interested or something, it might be more efficient to make 10 shirts versus one. So look forward to all that coming. We have some super exciting interviews planned, not only planned, but already recorded.
We've got a nutrition coach. We've got a running coach.
Well, we got Katie coming up soon.
Yep.
Okay, so Katie has a big event coming up.
Doesn't she have 2 big events?
Well,
the same event, but just
different states,
locations,
different locations. It's the I'm gonna give you a sneak peek here. It's an undies race. They run in their underwear, and she does raise money for a foundation. You're gonna hear about that real soon, okay? Yep. And she'll have an event, and we're gonna support that event. Another thing that here now that I remember, another thing the Patreon money will go towards events like Sarah's Comedy Night and events like the 5K for Jay. We'll use that money to help support those events. In Katie's situation, if we had this already up and running, it would go towards that. So that's what we're going to use the money towards if you decide to. The hope is put it into the podcast and put it into helping others around the area and kind of getting our name out there as well. So that's what it will go towards. But yeah, we got an exciting 2023. I can't believe this is episode 38.
Yeah, we've got interviews lined up every Monday for the month of January.
Erika is so thrilled with me because
he booked me.
I just, all of a sudden, one day she goes, my calendar shows an interview every Monday. And I go, yep. Well, I knew you had to take some time off for Japan, so I wanted to book them up quickly.
Oh, yeah. We're going to bank a few and see how it goes. But yeah, you guys are going to love what we've got coming up for you.
It's awesome. So I really appreciate you doing this with me, Erika. It is year 2 of the pod.
I love it, man. That's why I put up with you. It's a lot of fun for me,
too. That's why I'm your best friend. Remember you said that about a month ago? I'm your best friend. Yeah. Hey, by the way.
Oh, your new watch.
What do you think?
That is huge. That is... I feel like I would whack that on everything. Well, it's just a very large watch face.
And I mentioned earlier on the intro, the other ones felt small. So this one is big. It's probably a little bigger than my old Garmin. And I tend to walk into walls a lot. So I am going to definitely get the protective screen on there.
Screen protector, yes.
Yeah. Someone goes to me one day, all right, I want to hear something. Everyone introduce an icebreaker and tell us something about yourself that no one else knows. And I go, my name's Eric, and I walk into walls a lot.
That was the one thing. Good to know, man.
I don't walk directly into the wall. I just cut. I cut.
Just picture you.
I cut the corners.
Honestly, I do the same thing. If you're looking at my Fitbit, it's all scratched up just because I'll just turn and arms flailing, whacking walls too.
Right. So cool. All right. This was a ton of fun. A good night here. We had another epic interview we just did. So she was awesome. Dave, you're going to love her.
Football related.
Buffalo Bills Mafia fan we just had on. So
you give away all our secrets, man. You
it's okay. I want them to be excited. I want them to be excited. So the other thing I want to just tell you guys about is we're going to try to do episode releases on Tuesdays. Tuesday is going to be our day. We never really figured it out last year. We were kind of all over the map, and I got a goal. And Erika, cover your ears. I want to do it every Tuesday.
Every single Tuesday?
Oh, you were supposed to cover your ears. You heard that?
Well, my headphones are covering my ears. But we will see what we can do. We've got 6 hours a month to play with, so fill them however you can.
All right. That will help with the Instagram Live. So
there you go.
Everybody out there, really appreciate you listening. If you don't follow, please give us a follow on Instagram. We're at On The Runs. You can email us. Our email address is at ontherunspod@gmail.com. We appreciate if you go on to Spotify or Apple and give us whatever star rating you think we deserve and whatever comment you think we deserve. I've never really asked for you to do any of that, but you know what? I think I might just have to put it in my reel because apparently it helps the algorithm.
Good.
But we're doing really good. I saw the other day we were like in the top 10 for running podcasts in Austria.
I've been there. I like it.
Oh, I'd love to go one day.
I'll take it.
We're back for 2023. We are not going to stop. This year is going to be great. We're going to keep growing, and we're so glad you're here with us. So, with that being said, let's roll out that new intro music. And Erika,
don't forget to stretch.
3, 2, 1, yeah! Hey!
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Last time I laughed this hard, I used my shirt, so he is like, he needs to get his shit together. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, you broke him. You broke him, Amanda.
Nice.
But yeah, he's broken. And he's peeing with the door open. We are not together, by the way. He's married. I have my boyfriend. We're at my house right now, and my boyfriend's upstairs. He's just like, makes himself at home. Newt is currently peeing with the door open.
Nice.
That's got to make it on the podcast.